Are you ready? Ladies and gentlemen, are ready to start?
Yo, get on the couch with the dope doctor. Get on the couch with the dope doctor. Get up on the couch with the dope doctor.
Alright, welcome to Couch Live. Wait a minute. I'm not on.
Oh, you're not on? Oh, no.
Welcome to
he's
Couch
not
Live.
on. There he is.
Here on rock100diz.com. And this is the YouTube segment here on the Couch Live. And brought to you by dlmsuccess.usana.com. That's dlmsuccess.usana.com. And that was, Denise, that's your new commercial.
Yes. You
That's
like
your
it?
new I like it. I only heard half of it, though, so
Yeah, well.
I can only answer for half. I like the last half. And then, so that's Denise, and that's Capn Chris Hill. Showed the mug on there. Cap. There it is. And thedopedoctor.com. Look at the new banner. We had to do it for the new banner. This is actually going to be at the thing we're going to be doing, the breakout. This Saturday, Lake Eola.
That would be tomorrow.
Tomorrow, Lake Eola, from 7 to 9. So if you're listening to a replay of this show, don't go out there tomorrow. But if you listen to the live show, it's December 10th. If it's December 10th on your calendar, then it's tomorrow. Right? All right, so this is a show that focuses on all issues related to addiction. My name is Lui Delgado, certified addictions professional, and here to talk about that. And it was an open discussion. It's an open discussion show today, and there's all kinds of little comments people have made. And I'm going to go to a comment that a guy named Chris from Jersey commented when I put it out there that we can do an open discussion. And intherooms.com. Intherooms.com is a fantastic website, or I should say, what do you call it? What would you call that? Not a website.
It's more like a forum. It's a website, but it's more like a forum
Yeah.
type thing.
What is that? We got to talk. Hello, welcome to Couch. You're on the couch. What are you doing? Answering the phone in the middle of the show?
I'm trying to do that.
Listen, you know, I just called. Didn't I just call him the best producer ever?
Look, I got everything.
Is somebody on the phone?
I've got stuff all over the place. Yes, there's somebody on the phone.
Who's on the phone?
Mr. Rodriguez, you're on the phone.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
Good.
Do you know you're calling the Couch Live, or were you calling something else?
No, I wanted to talk to Chris Hill. He sent me a message.
Okay, well, he's going to have to call you back. How about that?
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you.
I don't know
I
who
just
the,
called you the best producer.
I don't know who
This guy just
he
did it
is.
on my show.
I don't know who he is.
You do now.
Well, Mr. Rodriguez.
What?
Rodriguez.
Rodriguez, yeah.
Anyway,
Yes.
the guy Chris up in Jersey, and I was talking about intherooms.com. Intherooms.com is like Facebook. It's like,
Yeah,
those
it's
kind of social networking.
Facebook for
Right?
people in recovery. It's
Yeah.
just it's just got more of a theme to it than Facebook is
Exactly.
like everywhere.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
So this guy Chris is up in Jersey, and he's been in recovery before. Then he went through some surgeries, and because of the surgeries, now he's back on pain pills, and he's struggling with it. And he's worried that if he doesn't get off these pain pills soon, that it'll lead him back to heroin, which was his initial drug of choice. So he's obviously very concerned. So we spoke a little bit this morning, and so I told him we'll talk about it a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, he's
Definitely.
there's several
Give him some
concerns here.
support. Yeah.
One thing is that I'm tired of hearing people from the rooms. Now, this is to everybody out there in the rooms, all rooms. Why judge anyone that takes a medically assisted therapy? If it's to thine own self be true, at least that's what it says on my coin. It says to thine own self be true. If I'm an individual that, is in recovery, I want to be clean. I don't want to do my drug of choice or whatever. And there's some sort of medical assistance out there, and it's not a mood-altering drug. It's not a drug that gets that you may be able to become addicted to it,
Right.
because you're already
Right.
addicted in the first place.
Right.
But there's no stimulation or high to it. Then what is the issue? I don't understand the issue. So here are these people, and it's like, yes, he was concerned about taking Suboxone.
Okay.
He knows it'll work for him.
Right.
But the concern, obviously, is that there's people out there that don't think you're in recovery when you're on Suboxone.
Yeah, but if you're under a doctor's care and the doctor knows you're in recovery and he's still prescribing something for you, then obviously he is of the mind that you can deal with it and he knows how to get you off of it when the time comes.
See. But this
Okay.
is the problem. The problem is there's a lot of quacks out there that call
Oh.
themselves doctors, and they don't know
True.
anything about addiction. So just by saying doctors care It's not enough.
No.
But this is what I would say. If you're under the doctor's care and the doctor is certified in addictions, or that's his specialty is addictions, then it's different because they know what things to give you and how to monitor you. And the key always is if you're taking it as prescribed. Let me tell you something. If your addiction is out of whack, you don't take stuff as prescribed. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
They tell you take 2, you take 4. They tell you take 4, you take 8. So as prescribed is a big deal. The other thing, if the physician understands addiction really well, they also can see when tolerance is starting to build up and know how to work with that.
Right. And that's a key thing. You've got to go to the right physician.
Yes.
It's like anything though. I mean, if you have cancer, you're not going to go to a gynecologist, okay?
Yes.
If you have some disease, which, this addiction is a disease, then you need to go to the right physician. It's very you have to be very careful who you pick as a physician.
That's right.
It's not just about willy-nilly, going to close my eyes and point at one in the phone book or whatever. You have to find one that is certified in knowing how to treat someone with addiction.
Oh, most definitely. Do your research. And then this other lady, this mother asked, when do you send your child off to rehab? So I asked, what's going on, right? So, and the kid is smoking pot and not quitting pot. I'm thinking, all right, this is the problem with this. When you contact these inpatient facilities, they'll take you. They're not going to say no to the money.
Right.
But the thing is you contact these inpatient facilities, their run-of-the-mill client is not just addicted to pot or just using pot. So I would try outpatient services first. I like the least restrictive first.
Which I've heard
then
good things
you get
about.
into the intensive stuff.
I've heard that some people do very well on the outpatient.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not a big inpatient believer. I don't think everybody needs inpatient. I think there's a lot of things you can do outpatient. But then again, maybe I'm biased. I'm an outpatient provider, but I'm very connected to inpatient facilities too. But I just think that you do least restrictive first. I would hate to, you overreact right away, send your kid into rehab, and the rehab he hears about all other kinds of stuff. And it's not that by hearing this stuff he's going to want to do it. It's just it's going to make him think a lot more that he's not really doing anything bad.
Right.
What it's probably going to do is other addicts are going to tell him, wait, you're in here for pot? That's it? And that alone, other addicts aren't going to be saying, hey, you need to come out of denial. Hey, you need to work on. They're going to be like, oh, man, that's not a big deal. I can't believe your mom sent you here for that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you're not going to get the right response from the peers, which that's real important in rehabilitation and outpatient services and group setting, that the peers help reinforce positive behaviors, healthy living, sobriety, cleanliness. But if they're in there validating that the person is being a victim of parents and the legal system, then you're not getting...
Especially to a teenager?
That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? So it's tough, right?
Yeah, especially to a teenager.
Especially to a teen.
Remember, teenagers don't have that
frontal lobe
thing going on where they have, their judgment center is off to begin with.
Yeah.
So, if they do start doing something like that because of peer pressure or whatever reason they think they've justified to do it, then if you put them in a situation where everybody's going, oh, come on, and they start kind of getting more on their side of saying, oh, why did your mom do this? And they're negative towards, the parental influence and all that. What's that going to do? That's going to feed the addiction.
Exactly.
And that's going to say, well, if I can do this, now I can step over to whatever else.
Yeah, that was my initial concern. So
Yeah,
no need to overreact, but the fact that you want to react is good because there's a lot of parents out there that say my kid is just smoking pot, so I'm not even going to send him to counseling. Yeah. I'm not even going to ask the questions. And a lot of times what it is that we take for granted that maybe you or maybe somebody maybe your brother, maybe your sister, maybe somebody else did it and they were okay, but that doesn't mean that kid is going to be okay.
Right.
Not everybody could be the Michael Jordan of pot use. Now, we know there's some people out there that do drugs and they're still, professionals, still attorneys, still businessmen, still own their business, still make money, still have their families, whatever.
Right. Well, there are
but I call them like the Michael Jordans of drug use.
Yeah, they
that's not everybody.
experiment. I mean, everybody goes through in their teenage, college years, whatever, and they experiment with things. And most of your norm will come out and say, okay, I did it. I can say I did it. I'm part of the group, and now, I really didn't like it. I'm going to move on. It's not something for me. I'm not addicted to it.
Not something
and
sticky.
I can stop it. Yeah, so.
All right. So starbeamcoaching.com if you want to talk to Denise herself. coaching.com. Our website, of course, is thedopedoctor.com. And thanks to rock100diz.com, here, our home station, and dlmsuccess.usana.com for sponsoring this segment of the show. We'll be back on the couch live right after this.
Genesis the clue, he was 12 years old. Fell from the roof on East 29. Kathy was 11 when she pulled the plug. 26 reds and a bottle of wine. Bobby got leukemia, 14 years old. He looked like 55 when he died. He was a friend of mine. Those are people who died. 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 They were all my friends that just died. She broke in church, he let the gimmicks go rotten. So they died of hepatitis in Upper Manhattan. Slime in Vietnam.